Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Broads. Yes, we are talking Sixers today, and I know what you're thinking. Broads, the Phillies are in the playoffs again. We have Red October starting on Tuesday. For back-to-back years, our football team is also undefeated while baseball is about to pop off. In what universe will you waste your breath speaking about this salty franchise that is currently not holding up their end of the bargain and watching the Milwaukee Bucks land Damian Lillard, hearing Giannis speak publicly about change needing to occur, and in a snap of a finger, okay, their front office brings in the hottest acquisition you could find in the current markets. That's where Milwaukee is. The Boston Celtics didn't like the most recent outcome. Here's Kristaps Porzingis, a huge shakeup, sending Marcus Smart, and say what you want about Smart, the player, and how he treated his teammates, always in your face, and kind of a pest. And he was that way internally, too, I'm saying. But that's a big cultural shakeup. And now Drew Holiday, a very polished pro who won't butt heads with anyone and will adapt to a solid role. They all make moves. And you sat there on your hands basically begging any team to come help out with a James Harden deal, but it can't be too weak of a deal or we will play the long game. That's where the Sixers are at. Why waste your breath when there's so much more positive light shining in Philadelphia? And to answer that question, because I care, because I give a damn. And I know over the last 4 months or so, I always put the earmuffs on. If you joined during the Twitch streams or you joined during any of the live stuff I was doing, I don't want to hear Sixers. I don't want to think of their name. I don't want to think about Daryl Morey. I don't want to even think about Nick Nurse, and that's a shame because Nick Nurse is a damn good coach, and he could do a lot of intriguing things with an interesting roster. But right now, we are so down bad as a city that it sounds like a lost cause, the season that is, before the ball is even tipped for Game 1 against the Milwaukee Bucks, ironically enough. It's going to be a long, long NBA season. And I thought Joel Embiid said all the right things today at the Camden facility for Media Day. I don't want to just constantly get stuck. But when I'm on the court, we have a real chance to do something. And he looks at himself very highly, and there are some flaws within his game, but there are MVPs and a lot of champions that are supposed to have that mindset. I got no problem with it whatsoever. What I do need, though, and I love Joel Embiid to death, I need a better Game 7. I need you to demand the basketball at Game 6, right? In Game 6, at the end, I need you to get the basketball in your hands. Now's the time to say all the right things, and there's nothing wrong with saying all the right things. Now is the time. What becomes difficult is when you're facing that adversity, and it's the middle of the season, and you're on a 4-game losing streak, a 5-game losing skid, and things aren't going well. What do you do then? Or let's say you're 6th in the Eastern Conference when you should be 3rd or 4th. Yep, Miami and emo Jimmy Butler is still there, even though they're upset that they didn't get Dame. They thought it was locked and delivered, sealed right to their mailbox before everything got secured by Milwaukee. Oh, well, of course it'll be Miami. No one has the trade packages. And I know the Sixers don't have any trade packages. That's why they couldn't do it. They can't even compete for a half a second with what Boston provided for Portland to get Drew Holiday. Brogdon, Williams, picks. The problem is, and I'm not trying to relive history here, pretty sure all of us have lived through the pain once. Why bring it up for a second time? But since Sam Hinkie was sent out of here, it's all been a lost cause. You try and put Band-Aids on certain moves. You don't even have a GM at some point and make your head coach the GM. There's no plan. And because there's no plan, you start to do stupid things. And when you do stupid things and then try and recover and rebound by making another knee-jerk reaction, it just follows suit. There's one big trend. And unfortunately, at some point, you are here with your hands tied behind your back because Tobias Harris makes too much money. money. Nobody wants James Harden. And when Ben Simmons quits, he puts this franchise in a horrible spot. And at the time, I had no issue going forward with Harden. And here's why I know why I feel that way. If James currently said, okay, I will make up with Daryl Morey, I will become friends with him again, I take back the sign at the club that screams Daryl Morey is a liar, and I apologize, I want to go win a championship. By the way, this will never happen. There's a 0% chance this happens. I'm just expressing why I liked the basketball move at the time, and this defines that for you. If James wanted to say I'm sorry and compete with his teammates again, Tyrese Maxey, PJ Tucker, he takes the ball and he's willing to commit to Nick Nurse and the system and Joel Embiid. They might be a step down from some of the other teams I mentioned, but they are a lot closer to them than where they are now. Basketball-wise, if James wants to rekindle, we're right back at it. This horrible narrative and this pain and the suffering, it flips, at least for me. Now, they still might be a little bit shy, all right? I'm not saying they're absolutely 1,000% the top of the Eastern Conference. There's more depth and I think overall better. I guess it comes down to depth. I was just going to explain it in a different way. You know, the ceiling of Joel Embiid is as high as all of them, and I guess you could say the same for James Harden because 40-plus in a postseason series twice is very important. The problem is the lows come with a 3 for 48 shooting night in Game 3. You're in Game 2 after he puts up a 40 bomb. You get 6. The highs are so high, but the lows are a disaster. Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the grouping of Al Horford, just a professional. There's more there, and there's more substance, and there's more bodies to rely on, where the Sixers, it's Joel Embiid or nothing. And I'm excited for Tyrese Maxey, but now's not the time to listen to Nick Nurse at Media Day discuss the hands of Tyrese Maxey having the ball more. And with that, there'll be more opportunity for him to make plays. All right. Now it's not the time. I watched the NBA title run, and the chances to compete in the playoffs basically slide right by me. I love Maxey to death. And I have high hopes for him becoming a stud and an absolute weapon consistently. There's just so much for him to learn, and there's so much for his body to go through. It's so far away, and this team is a mess, and there's bigger issues right now than Tyrese Maxey. And I know that's difficult to say, but it's the truth. Yeah, if James Harden was happy and willing to play for this team and the growth of Tyrese Maxey puts them in a different tier, then Tyrese Maxey does matter more. But currently, and sitting here looking and digesting this roster and watching them fall apart, James Harden not showing up has them in a pickle. And even a return at this point, nobody wants him. There's no upside truly for James Harden for some of these teams. For Portland, for example, what would Portland do with James Harden? Nothing. They wanted an asset that had value so they could flip. And all things considered, knowing Damian Lillard finally had enough and decided I want elsewhere, they got a decent package for everything. It could have been a lot worse. Now, I don't know ultimately where you go from here. And quite frankly, they hit a wall with Damian Lillard without the sidekick of C.J. McCollum anyway. So I didn't see the end goal being a championship and competing with the Denver Nuggets and winning the Western Conference with the current form of Dame as is. So why not? I got you. I'm with you. But I'm so mad. I'm just so mad. I heard the president, Daryl Morey, get a bit testy today. Austin Krell asked what it's like knowing that you spend so much money as a franchise and you don't have the luxury of picking up big names in free agency. Everyone's pumping their fist at Oubre. Oubre doesn't do a damn thing for me. Not one thing. I don't give a damn about Oubre. Guess where this team goes with the addition of Oubre? Not farther than the second round. That's not a, hey, you're now in the Eastern Conference Finals move. Oubre, I'm sorry. I don't care what his points per game was. I don't care. I forgot Danny Green even re-signed here. After the big stars talked today, and really it was Joel Embiid and your head coach and your president. After that, I didn't care what Maxey had to say. The kid's got a smile on his face every second, loves to play basketball. We all know about it, and then that's it. What am I going to get from any of these people? I saw quotes being tweeted out by the beat guys about Danny Green. Danny Green. Danny Green. What am I going to do with a Danny Green? You can maybe bet his over-unders on threes made. Oh, where should you do that? My bookie. My bookie. I used to cash out pretty damn nicely on Tobias Harris over 1.5 threes. 1.5 threes. And Danny Green over 1.5 threes. And as a bettor, you demand perfection, and my bookie delivers. So once that starts happening, of course, look into the NBA slate every night. But there's playoff baseball happening in South Philadelphia. And right now, not later, not 5 minutes, not 15 minutes, right now is your time to sign up on my bookie with promo code BROADS, and you get fantastic odds and boosts and a sign-up bonus up to $200. Promo code BROADS, MyBookie. The link is down below in the description. This season, MyBookie has a no-strings-attached cash bonus that lets you deposit and withdraw quickly. Use promo code BROADS on a deposit of $50 or more. Bet your deposit amount once and you're ready to withdraw at any time. That's promo code BROADS to claim your cash deposit bonus. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only on MyBookie. I feel bad for Nick Nurse, too. This isn't what you want to deal with. Your first time speaking to the media? Well, option A is we have open arms for James. Then from there, we have option B, option C. I have a team to coach. So you're either with us or you're not. It's got to be a pain in the ass to try and reset everything, and you want it to be your way. This is a new life. You leave Toronto. There's an MVP caliber guy here. You're sold. You can make a push for the postseason. And I bet you this team becomes scrappy. And there's a little bit of me, 0.08% that wonders if everybody's so down on them and the expectations aren't as high and they use that as their fuel and try to motivate themselves from it. Can they do something that is better than we anticipated because we all hate them so much that we basically wrote them off already? Is it possible? 0.08% or whatever percent I threw out there goes in that direction. But then the other side says they're not good enough. The NBA is all about ready now big men, okay? Ready now, big men that are polished and in the 29, 30, 31, 32. I say that because Tyrese Maxey just isn't there yet. He's a fun watch, but it's a grown man's league. Do you have the talent or not? And they don't have the talent. Barring something awful happening to someone on the other team and an injury occurring that shakes the league and takes it over by storm and someone takes off and becomes LeBron James overnight, you know how the NBA goes. Think what a Eastern Conference Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics would look like right now. As a basketball fan, remove the emotions for a second, all right? Because I hate the Boston Celtics. They piss me off. I can't stand them. I cheer when they fail. It makes me feel good. There's good feelings that happen when they're in disgust. Basketball-wise, that could be incredible. This team currently constructed without James, and even with the addition that James brings you back eventually. What the hell are you going to do with that? So where do you go from here? I don't know. I just know the line is starting to fall. And we're on the back 9, and if not, whole 18 of this whole thing. Joel Embiid, he could say all the right things as long as he wants to. He's asking out soon if nothing changes. He thought that there's value in consistency. And then he also thinks that there's a time where you constantly bang your head against the wall and realize that we're not improving. This team is staying the same. And at that point, maybe something has to be done about it. We're 1 year away. If they lose in the first round this year, and I know he loves it here. He does love it here. Think about his journey. It's crazy. We are his home. He loves us. He truly deep down loves us. But at some time, you got to do what's best for your career. And for Joel Embiid, if they lose in the first round next year, it's time to start looking at your career. So you don't become that MVP that won it once because everybody was upset that Jokic couldn't win it a third time and he could never get out of the second round. And after he constantly got to the second round, it became first round exits, and they could never take that leap with Joel Embiid. Now, that would be the wrong way, but fans react a certain way in this league. Do you have a championship or not? Do you have 2 championships or not? Are you the greatest ever or not? You're either an absolute bum or you're a champion. Either you get all the praise or you suck, and you're overvalued. Does Joel Embiid want to be remembered as that? He's very close to asking out. It makes me sick saying that out loud and it being real. Not a troll job. It's real. Joel Embiid is not far off from asking nicely, and it wouldn't be ugly. I don't think he'd be going around saying Daryl Morey is a liar. I don't think he'd start leaking things on social media and have certain reporters throw out nonsense. It wouldn't be that way. It would be a Damian Lillard Portland thing. Thank you so much. We know you love you. We know you love us, and we love you, and you'll forever be a great athlete in this city. All the things you do off the court. It would be a bond that never gets broken. And we get it, honestly, right? Does anybody not see why? Is there anyone in the corner of, I'd hate Joel Embiid if he did that and I wouldn't understand at all? And I don't hate Daryl Morey by any means. At some point, though, you've been here long enough, and if you claim to be a James Harden guy, which he does have that relationship with him, when does it show? I got no problem bringing him in when all the circumstances dictated it. But now that we're here, isn't your brand not having this happen? Aren't you all about your friendship with him and there's nobody closer in league circles? Well, if that's the case, shouldn't you benefit from it instead of maybe one of the most ugliest things we've seen? You know it's bad when national big-time reporters and big names are at your facility during the first media availability because of something not regarding the sport. If LeBron James goes to a new city, if Kevin Durant or a big superstar joins a 2 pair already, and now they become a big 3, fine. I get Aldridge being there asking questions. Well, what are we doing here? We are the drama. I don't want to be the drama. All right? I don't want to be the drama. We're the drama. Let's read a couple text messages on the text board. Frank from New Jersey. How in the world can this ownership pretend everything is okay? The fans are rightfully upset, and the season most likely is a drag waiting to happen. Do they blow it up? Is it time to trade Joel? I don't see how this goes against the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics now. This sucks, bros. The ownership is focused on a new stadium and focused on fighting with the Wells Fargo Center currently. And the Flyers, well, I guess Comcast, Spectacor, tweeting out all sorts of, hey, this is fake information. I don't have a problem with the idea of doing something new in this city and building up a part of the city that could be different and in the long run be fantastic. I don't think every single stadium has to be in South Philly. Everyone discusses it. Oh, it's perfect. Everything's right there. The stadiums suck right now. Okay? Parking takes forever to get in and out. Oh, but there'll be traffic in the city. There's going to be traffic everywhere. Yeah, I want something new. I think it would be cool and fresh for something new. But right now, the state of the franchise Should there be more emphasis on Joshua Harris, David Blitzer, and the rest of the crew and clean up maybe that side of things because the fan base is mad and angry? Yeah, I think from ownership level, though, they do give you everything you ask for. They spend a lot of money. They give you brand new facilities. They make it a Class A+ organization from that aspect. Maybe it's time for, optically, some of the ownership group to try and make this better. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's better for them to be quiet, if we're being honest. I guess that might be smart. George says, nobody wants Harden. Does he realize that? Does Morey know? Does James know? I think Morey sees that. I do. I think he picked up the phone and tried to make a lot of calls around the league and got the information he didn't like. If it was the alternative, James Harden wouldn't be here right now. And what if Malcolm Brogdon goes elsewhere? And what if the LA Clippers elect to bring him into town? Now where do you go if you're Harden? Because if you're leaving out hope that something could be done with the Clippers, what if they get another guard? That would suck. It would suck. I don't love much of the options from the Clippers regardless. But, man, you see the predicament that we're witnessing currently? So to answer Frank's question, who was the first texter, I jumped ahead without answering the Joel Embiid part. Is it time to trade Joel? No, not really. I'm still squeezing the juice out of it and taking every crack at it as humanly possible. But Broads, you'll lose out on value if you wait another year or two. Do you know what the other option is right now? The other option could be 8th seed Iguodala free throws. Because can Maxey and Tobias Harris for this year, could that be good enough to keep you at the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoffs? Remember, you don't have to be very good to be an 8th seed, to be in the play-in, to be a 9th seed fighting for that last spot until the last 2 games of the season. Well, Maxey, Tobias, is that where you are? The start of when you decided to lose on purpose to go get draft picks and find something like Joel Embiid? I don't think you get it done even if you hold on to Embiid for a couple of years. I don't. But basketball in this town without Joel and smacking that big refresh button might be worse. You might gain more just from entertainment value of Joel Embiid in the next 2 years. And that could be worth maybe the extra first-round pick that you lose out on by keeping him 2 years instead of trading him now. Joel Embiid's still going to get you a ton of talent whenever he does demand for the trade, okay? Especially if Daryl Morey's here, because he'll make you sweat it out if you're the opposing GM or the opposing president trying to acquire him. Remember how much fun it was thinking about the future when Embiid and Ben both took the floor. Now we are fucked. It's all over. That was a no-name text. Those off seasons were fun. Wasn't it fascinating thinking about those two on the floor? Wondering what could be. You win 28 games. Okay, the combination of both of them. Ben, full speed, going to the rack, laying it up. Massive dunk. Embiid, a big block. Personality. Not even close to that anymore. Sucks. It sucks. But don't forget, Danny Green's on the team. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out. I love you to death. I'm sorry to talk about this squad for 25 minutes. Shame on me. I apologize. I started to hate myself for doing it as we hit about the 20-minute mark, if you couldn't tell by maybe some of the dialogue. It smacked me in the face. What the hell are you doing, you sick bastard? And I don't have the answer to that. Thank you all so much. I love you to death. We'll be talking soon. See you on the next one.